Alright, listen, so if you're still struggling on fighting Illaoi in 2x KO, this is the video for you. I am Finesse Day and I'm a challenger ranked player. Illaoi is one of my mains, so today I'm going to be going over how I fight against other Illaois in ranked, and how to counterplay a lot of the stuff that she's doing, whether it be the tentacle super, whether it just be having tentacles on the field and how to play against them. And yeah, we're gonna get into all the good stuff. She's a great character, does good damage, has good normals, good special moves, but she does have counterplay, so that's what I'm gonna be aiming at focusing on today. So yeah, if you enjoy the video, please drop a like and subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot, and I want to keep pumping out these 2xAO videos for you guys. But yeah, stay tuned. All right, let's talk about Illaoi real quick. So Illaoi is a high damaging Oki slash setup character. She has pretty good normals. 2M, very notable. Super good range. It's a low, and it's pretty quick. 5M is really good too. Both of her heavy normals are super good as well. And yeah, and she has really good special moves too. So the way Illaoi works is that you use her S2 specials to put tentacles on the screen, and then you're gonna use either like back S1 or just different S1 buttons to use the tentacles. And I think she's pretty cool. I think she's really good. She's fallen off a bit right now only because Echo has the Oki that he does. But earlier in the game, we saw a lot of people rocking Illaoi because of this super she has right here. Hang on. So this was really tough in the beginning of the game. No one really knew how to deal with it. And I think still people are struggling with this Oki super in the corner, which we're going to go over in a little bit. But yeah, Illaoi's really good. She's a really cool character. Using assist to set up tentacles on the ground is really good. And that you can back up and use that tentacle for, you know, if you do that huge special move, which is super good. That's a 5S1. Super good. It just has a lot of recovery. So that's kind of like the trade-off with Illaoi, is that her super moves, her special moves, excuse me, have a lot of recovery, but they're really good. Like, they cover all over the screen, right? Look how much range that is, and you call assist and you're pretty much in. It is very susceptible to jump-ins though, and if you whiff that, minus 67, right? She just is very susceptible to jumping in, and that, you see that there's not as much of a high hitbox as you would think. It really only covers us like the ground and a little bit above the ground, so it's very susceptible to jumping in. Already talking about the counterplay, but yeah, it's very susceptible to jumping in. Same with like some of her other specials, like this down one right here. But we'll get into all of that counterplay stuff in the video. So first thing I want to talk about is Blockstrings. Most Illaoi players will do a Blockstring similar to that and end in that little down special 2 move, because it's a true Blockstring and they get a tentacle set up. Or they'll end a Blockstring with the Rekka. And that's pretty much all you'll see in terms of Blockstrings. So you want to make sure that you're not randomly retreating guarding during the Blockstring. Because, see, look, so Illaoi's Blockstrings are really good because a lot of them you can bait retreating guard either with that 2M that she has that's really good, or you can do that, right? Do that, you're in, and you get a full combo. So retreating guard against Illaoi is very scary. If you do it, you want to wait until you see that move. So you block that and then you retreating guard. And then you can jump back and do whatever and you're free. Or wait for the Rekka, right? One thing to keep in mind is that second hit of the Rekka is minus 12. So if you have a fast level 1, like Yasuo does, or if you just have like a big move that you can use to try to punish that, you want to see what you have. If she does one hit of the Rekka, it's minus 5. So there is a delay they can do here, and if they get a counter hit, you get the spin into a full combo. So you want to be careful with that. The thing is, if you retreat and guard and don't press any buttons, then you'll get away from this down S2 and the Rekka, and you're pretty much out, right? Unless they call an assist, like Yasuo. Yasuo's assist is really good. So that's pretty much it for Blockstrings. Mostly going to end with this. That's probably what you're going to see majority of the time. And you want to make sure you're not getting hit by that low move because it leads into a full combo. Alright, so let's talk about her special moves a little bit more in depth. So, like I was mentioning earlier, the S2 versions of her special moves are going to set up tentacles. And the S1 versions are going to activate them. So you always want to make sure you're aware of where the tentacle's at, right? And why is that important? Let's say you're directly under a tentacle. Illaoi has a command grab that she can do. So if you're sitting around blocking, respecting the tentacles all day, and you're directly under one, you're liable to be hit by a command grab. Or be grabbed by it, excuse me. I guess that'd be better. This move, super good, covers almost the entire screen. But like I was mentioning earlier, susceptible to being jumped in on, and people like jumping in this game a lot for some reason, but you know, tag games. She has down S1, which is like a huge anti-air move that also, if she has tentacle set up, will allow you to get a combo from. So yeah, I'm pretty sure like all of her S1 moves will lead into like some type of tentacle follow-up. So if you do like the Rekkas, you get like a free tentacle hit there. And then like I showed earlier, that's all of her S1 moves there. So they all will give you something if you have a tentacle up. And then let's talk about her S2 specials. So just regular S2 is going to be that lariat looking move. It's really good in my opinion. Like you can kind of just throw it out. It's pretty quick if they're close enough to you. What else does she have? Down S2, like I was showing you guys earlier, we'll do that. And you could do this full screen as well. They're full screen and you do a charged down S2. The tentacle will go all the way there and follow them. If you don't charge, it goes about mid-screen. That's really good if they're like camping out full screen. You know what I mean? You have that. So but like I was mentioning earlier, if you do this and have time to do that and they haven't jumped in on you yet, honestly they're misplaying, right? Because like you have so much recovery on this, especially if it whiffs, right? So you want to try and find ways to jump in on that. The tentacles can be parried though as well, so you want to make sure you look out, right? If they're doing a block string on you and there's a tentacle on the screen, look out to see when the assist return, or look out to see if they have an assist available, because if they don't and they're just using the tentacle for pressure, it's almost never a true block string, right? For instance, I'll set that up and do like a block string here. You see how it did a true block string, he got hit by it. That means that you can parry it pretty much anytime. You just have to know the timing for it, which, you know, you just go into practice mode and practice to set up a little bit and get the timing to parry that. But if they have no assist, you can parry any kind of tentacle setup they have or they do, except for the command grab, right? Which is, it's really cool that they gave her that command grab. And then let's talk about her assist real quick. Everyone talks about how good Illaoi double assist is because you can do stuff like this. Right, so the first assist you do, you're setting up the tentacle with her. And then the second assist you do is using the tentacle to come back. And you can use that for mix-ups and things of that nature. But like I was mentioning earlier, it's always going to be a gap there. From like the activation of the tentacles, there's going to be a gap, which means you can always parry it. It just is a matter of when you're parrying. Oh, another thing I want to make sure I mention, don't let Illaoi players continue fake pressure on you. If they do this, I know you may feel like you're minus in this situation, but it's your turn. So you have to run up and take your turn back here. Because if you just sit there, they can just do this and continue pressure, right? +3 there. But here, -6. So make sure you're running up and taking your turn back. Otherwise, they'll just like loop endless pressure on you like this. If someone doesn't know, I'm gonna just keep going, you know what I mean? Because a lot of Illaoi's normals are pretty good range, right? So if I do this, all I have to do is like a tiny dash in. Even if I might not even have to do that. Yeah, see, look. If you hesitate for a second, I'm just gonna do 2M. You want to make sure you're running up and taking your turn back there for sure. And I see a lot of players like defend against Illaoi and like they're like terrified because of having a tentacle set up there when, like, in reality, you could have ran up and taken your turn back already, like, a while ago. You know what I mean? And now, the thing that probably everyone came here for, we're going to talk about Illaui's Oki Super, right? If you played against any Illaoi player, you've been in this situation before. Really good Oki Super. So the reason this is, Super is so good is because you can set it up, wait for the roll, punish the roll, and they're back in the corner. If you do nothing, oh, let me go back to save state. If you do nothing, you can react, right? Throw them back in the corner, boom, back in the Oki, free throw, which essentially means they're forced to interact with this Super. They can't just roll away and get away from it. The counterplay to this, right? I'm going to actually make a recording and counterplay it myself. All right, so when you get into the situation here, right? Boom, you have tentacles set up on you. There's one of a few things that you can do here. You can try to parry the tentacles. They come out in a sequence. So it is a little bit tough. See, even I don't have the timing for it yet. See, you can try to parry the tentacles and then by proxy parry one of the opponent's attacks while they're doing it. But if they sneak in a low while you're trying to parry the tentacle, you're cooked, right? So best counterplay probably right now is, since the tentacles come out in sequence, you want to decide whether you're going to push block the opponent during the first set of tentacle attacks or the second. Right, so I'm gonna wait for these tentacles, I'm gonna push block and then do a big move that covers all the tentacles. So you hold down back, wait for these tentacles to hit, push block. See, sometimes it's still hard to get out of if the opponent Illaoi has really good Oki setups. But if you just wait for your opportunity to push block and then throw out your biggest move, which honestly that's probably not even the best move for Illaoi to use. Let me try something else real quick. Wait until you block the last tentacle, push block, and then you could do something like that. Or you could do this, right? Depending on the character you have, you want to play around with what you want to do there, right? Push block, you can do that into a full combo. It's RPS, right, for a reason. So there are things the opponent Illaoi player can do, okay? So let me show you just one of them, actually. They do something like this, this is going to blow up push block. And let me show you guys real quick. So if you waited, like I mentioned, after that last tentacle and they do that setup, they set up another tentacle on the ground there and they also blow up your assist from the push block. So if you have a feeling they're going to try and cover your push block with this, then you want to wait until the second set of tentacles are hitting you, right? Let me show you guys that. Wait for that. So wait for the second set of tentacles, and then you can do your huge move and get out of it. So that's the RPS in that situation. The Illaoi player can either try to focus on preventing you from push blocking in the beginning, or they can try to prevent you from push blocking the second set of tentacles. And of course, the longer it goes on without you push blocking, you're more at risk of being hit by anything the Illaoi player is doing. But at least you have some sort of counterplay to defend against the Illaoi Super. And I feel like that's probably what majority of you guys came here for, because that's probably the most egregious thing about Illaoi's kit is the Oki Super in the corner. It's super good, and it's super easy to set up if you have a pairing like Yasuo Illaoi, because you can just do that. And then, you know, tag launch into the Super. So it's super easy to set up. You know what I mean? That's what makes it so good, and that's why it was so good in the beginning, because it was hard to play against, and people didn't know like much of the counterplay yet. So think about that early in the game. It's like you have a Oki Super in the corner that literally covers majority of the options. You can, if they roll, you just throw them back in the corner. And then if they don't know to push block, literally you're just getting free chip damage and a free combo on them if they get hit off of like any random stray, random neutral hit. So she definitely has dropped off a bit ever since the discovery of all of the Oki options that Echo has. But I do still think she's a strong character. The tentacle stuff, like being able to do it full screen, and you know what I'm saying? Like, let's say for instance, we're full screen here and I do this. All I have to do is call an assist to cover me, right? Because if they want to jump in on me, and if they don't, then they're just blocking the tentacle, and I can go in and I have free offense, like I'm plus, you know what I mean? So that's really good. I think I'm going to end the video there, though. I think I covered a lot of the stuff that Illaoi players abuse, or things that players might not know. So if you have any specific questions, I do play this character, so I'll be able to answer them a lot better than maybe the Echo video. But yeah, you guys let me know, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.